There we go. Now, let me start that over so I can have this in the recording. So bear with me. And somebody just hopped on, so that's perfect. Hello and welcome to Trust Your Damn Self, the masterclass, where I call it an experience rather. This is all about how to strengthen your intuition and stop ignoring your inner voice. And my goal tonight here is to answer all of the questions that you've had about intuition, how it works. Like, my hope is that there's no stone unturned, but also we are actually going to be activating. We're going to be taking action. We're going to engage. Feel free to come off mute. Feel free to cut your cameras on if you want. It doesn't matter how you look. Like, this is not that space. We are going to really, really, really tune in and really, really flow with everything, because I don't want to just throw a bunch of information at y'all. I want to give y'all the tools that you can actually use. Hey, Minnie, when you leave here. Okay. So that is my goal. This is designed to really help you amplify your intuition, because we all have it, but there is nothing like having that intuition and trusting it with no questions asked immediately. And that is the goal. That is the guide. That is the due north to your life. All right. So let's talk about a little housekeeping. The main thing that matters is that you have an open mind tonight. In order for the magic to really happen, having an open mind is going to be key. Okay. Let it flow. Let's try not to resist. Feelings might come up. I might say something that may trigger you, that make you think about your own self, your own situations. That is okay. Feel free to say something. I do have a section for Q&A at the end, but I highly encourage y'all to still drop your questions in the chat as you go or whenever. And if it is an opportunity for me to answer it right then, I can. If it's something that I'll wait until a little bit later, maybe it's something that's coming up and I'll save it until then. Okay, so we want to make this interactive, engaging. This is not just a lecture, okay? Try to be as present as you can, and we're going to work on that here in a second. Engagement is key. So I work so much better off of the energy. The more the energy is popping through, the more that y'all are engaging and participating, the better I am, the better I channel, the better I feed off of y'all energy. And that's really where the magic happens. So that's why I say an open mind is going to be so key. All right. And then you're going to want to take notes. So I hope that y'all have something near you that you can write, take notes, or your phone where you're taking notes, something to take notes, because it is going to be a lot of insights, okay? A lot of insights that you're going to get. And it's important because I want you guys in real time to see what it's like to really actively write down the things that you are going to experience tonight in this experience that I said is going to be. All right. So are we all good and on the same page about the housekeeping? Let me know. You can put a 1 in the chat. 1 in the chat. All right. Thank you. Now, this is the other piece of the housekeeping. I've allocated 2 hours for your time, and I respect your time. I understand if you gotta leave, come back, or hop off early. And again, I respect your time. We're gonna try to work within 2 hours, but if the spirit starts coming in and things start flowing, we're gonna work off of that. And if you gotta leave early, I understand. I respect that. I'll send the replay to your inbox and you can catch anything. But just know that everything that is supposed to happen in this atmosphere tonight is exactly what's supposed to happen, okay? So I just need you guys to trust that. Trust yourself that you actually came here, and try to trust me tonight. Hopefully you can if you're here. All right? So I got a lot of goodies for y'all. A lot of goodies for y'all, especially if you stay to the end. So there's going to be several giveaways, bonuses, just all kind of things that I have to give to y'all at the end if you stay through. But I do want to let y'all know, is it okay? And just let me know in the chat, is it okay if I take maybe 5 to 8 minutes to share with y'all the book cover, give y'all a sneak peek of the chapter titles, and all that good stuff about the book. Are y'all okay with that? Let me know in the chat. You can give me a thumbs up or whatever. All right, thank you. All right, so let's get all these shenanigans out of the way. All right, so here's the first thing I want us to do, okay? This is where I want us to set our intentions and really align our energy in the space to receive. Because when you come here, when you came here today, when you logged into the computer, whatever you did, or your phone, whatever you're at, you had a full day behind you before you got here. You've been probably dealing with the kids, the dog, your husband, you got work, you got coworkers getting on your nerves, whatever the case may be, you were doing something before you got here. So your energy was all over the place for whatever reason. And so what we're going to do is just ground that in the present so that you guys can receive, okay? Because I am going to channel, but I want you guys to be able to receive. So here's what we're going to do, okay? To ground our energy, I just want you guys to put your hand over your heart. And then we're going to breathe in 4. We're going to do this 4 times, okay? We're going to breathe in 4. We're going to hold for 2. And we're going to breathe out for 4, okay? So 4, 2, 4. All right, so I want you to just get situated if you can. If you out and about, just do the best you can. Stop and take a deep breath if you can. But we're going to breathe in. Let's go now. 1. Hold 2. Release. That's 4 times. So we're going to do it one more time. In. Release. One more time. In. Release. Now I want you to try to tune into your heartbeat. Try to catch the flow, catch the rhythm of your heartbeat, and just listen for it or feel it. Breathe in one more time. Release. Okay, so I'm trying to bring you back to your heart center. Okay, that's why I want you to tune into the beat of your own heart. All right, now I want you to imagine a white light, if you can, scanning your full body from the top of your head, and then move it on down to the middle of your forehead, and then down to your shoulders and through your back and through your chest and through your torso and your abdomen and all that good stuff. And just go all the way down with that light to the bottom of your feet. And then I want you to imagine as if that white light is connecting it's coming through your feet to the ground, to the earth where your feet is planted. And just sit with it for a second and watch your breathing. Okay. All right. Great work. So now your first assignment is, this is the first part of Intuition 101, is I want you guys to, now that you're centered, I would like for you to write down the word that you intuitively feel, just how you naturally feel, the first thing that comes to your mind. When you envision yourself leaving this class tonight, how do you imagine yourself feeling? I want you to visualize how you want to feel, and I want you to just write that word down, and we're going to come back to that. Write it down, the first thing you feel. All right. When y'all are done, give me a thumbs up. All right. The first word. All right. Thank y'all. All right. So everybody's got their word. Now let's get into the good stuff. My name is Fatima Barnes, for those who do not know me, and I am now finally walking down the path that I've been running from for a very long time, and I am stepping into spiritual guide and empowerment mentor lane, which is what I have been fighting and running from, but I'm here. I've worked with several businesses. I have all that experience and all that good stuff, right? Opened multiple businesses, but now I am moving into a new journey where I am going to be the author of Homecoming: Confessions of a Woman Who Remembered Who She Was. And I am leading the homecoming movement through this book, because this is more than just a book. This is a literal movement for people to come home to themselves. And a part of coming home to yourselves is really learning to trust yourself and to trust your intuition. And it's really the first step. And so that is why I wanted to do this. So yes, I got the credentials in every way that you can look at it, in the spirit, in the physical reality. I have all the things in the 3D and in the 5D that one would need, but that is not actually what makes me qualified to teach this. This is because I actually am speaking from pure experience. Like y'all, if you're here, we've all experienced this, but I know exactly how it feels to not trust myself. Even when I didn't realize that the way that I was moving was as a result of me not trusting myself. And so I just want y'all to pay attention to this photo. Like, I want you guys to look and see if you notice in the evolution from me starting the last business that I had back in 2020 to the photo differences in 2025, right? Because while on the outside looking in, I had all of the things of someone that you would imagine they must trust themselves, because I've always marched to the beat of my own drum. I've always been a free spirit, one to just do what I want to do, but I've also fallen victim to conditioning. I've also fallen victim to limiting beliefs. I've also fallen victim to the programming that we all experience, no matter how much I've tried to run from it. And it was a journey to get back to myself and who I am at the core, and to come home to really who I am. So if you can notice, even just my stance, my confidence, one side looks like I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do, entering into this space. The next side looks like I'm sure I know who I am. I know my power. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know exactly how I'm supposed to be doing it. Okay. This is thank you. This is someone who is truly okay with their power. The version that you see right here is someone who second guessed their intuition a lot. I still was obedient. I still did the things, right? But I second guessed myself a lot. I would also, this was kind of the beginning of one of my biggest spiritual awakenings was 2020 as well. And so it is really where I started to notice my own gifts starting to grow, and I didn't know what to do with them. I thought, well, maybe, I'm crazy, or maybe I just need to allow myself to be curious and explore that side that has always been there, and trust what it looks like to follow that, and to allow myself to explore and allow myself to be curious. Okay. And so in that journey is exactly, I feel you can physically see the evolution. Do y'all agree with that? Do you can physically see the inner change in the evolution within these images. So I thought that it was better to show this is the difference of someone who did not know their power in its fullness, had gifts, had talents, but wasn't quite standing in my power and trusting myself. And so I'm not going to spend the whole time. Yes, thank you, Minnie. I'm not going to spend the whole time talking about myself, but I'm going to show y'all more than anything. I do want to make it clear that this is a journey that I've walked, right? This is a journey that I've actually walked, and it was a hell of a journey, okay? A hell of a journey. I used to outsource my intuition. I used to outsource my gifts. I used to second guess everything that I wanted to do, even though I still did it, right? But the fact of the matter is I often realize that had I trusted myself sooner, I probably would have been a lot further, but that ain't how it was supposed to go, because really and truly, I needed everything to get to this point where I'm at now. So what changed and what's different now is what you see is alignment. It's alignment and no longer waiting for permission. And when I decided to do that, everything changed. Flow, expansion, all of the gifts, the things that I've had all along, my intuition just stronger and stronger the more that I did this inner work and learned to trust myself. Things have went from feeling like a fish swimming upstream or feeling like I'm swimming upstream to just flowing. And then there's ease. And there's such a deep level of trust that I truly believe that everything is always working out for me all the time. Why can't I have the things that I desire in this life? Why not? All of these things are available to me. Whatever I desire is truly going to be mine. And whatever I do, as long as I'm staying aligned with what God has for me and the path that I am destined to be on, there will be no resistance. And I truly believe that. And I can truly embody that now. Because on the left, I had knowledge. On the right, I have wisdom. And that's two different things. Okay. So let's just get into some of the things that we're going to learn. We're going to learn the secrets of intuition. We're going to learn an exact process that's going to show you how to start working with it. We're going to work with it in real time. We're going to identify the blocks. We're going to talk about some of the differences between anxiety, intuition, overthinking, the whole nine. And then we're actually going to get into the science and the spiritual truth of it so that you can see the truth of intuition and what it looks like in every context. Okay. Now, I was going to do this whole spiel about let's see if you're in the right place and if you're not. The only thing that I feel that qualifies you, that makes sure that you're in the right place, is if you're here. If you're here, I truly believe that you're meant to be here. Okay? Period. There's a reason why you're supposed to be here. And the only people who this is not the right space for is people who are very closed-minded, people who are not open to learning and maybe realizing that there may be something in here for them that they need to hear tonight. All right. That's the only thing. So as long as you have an open mind, we are good. We are good. We are good. Now let's get into this channeled message. How many of you have gotten a personal energy reading from me before? Like a personal one. I think I have some people in here that's got a personal one. I can't see everybody though. If you have, okay. So y'all already know how I operate. I'm just going to tell it how it comes to me. And I may not remember all of this. I'm going to be honest. I get in a certain zone and I don't remember everything. I think somebody today was like, you remember you told me this was going to happen and now it happened. And I'm like, I don't remember that, but okay. All right. That's another thing that I did not say when I introduced myself. I'm finally walking into it and accepting it that I am a psychic medium. And so that means I receive messages. I can read energy. I've also received messages from loved ones on the other side. Yes. It was not just you, Valencia. Somebody else said the same thing. Okay. So I channeled these messages and I think that it may not make sense. A lot of it doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to start off with what I channeled this morning. I channeled these messages at 7:20 a.m. this morning. And It could be for someone in here right now. It can also be for someone who watches the replay. I'm just going to read how I channeled it, and then we're going to go from there. All right. Okay. So 7-13 could be significant, or ages 7 to 13 can be significant for somebody in here. Or summer, Cancer season, July can be significant. Inner child, 7 to 13, there's something significant about that age between somebody. Hold on. She said it most definitely solidifies why I knew what you were thinking. Okay. All projects will be picked up at the right time. You are here to be prepared to handle it in alignment. If you do it now, you're not ready to sustain it. Okay. There is no, now I can't even read my own writing. That's how I just be writing, girl. I just be writing when I channel. I don't know. There's no way it won't materialize in the physical when all aligns. Some people may be wondering, when is all of the things they've been going, when are the things that they've been doing is going to start to pay off? And there's no way, because spiritual law alone states that when you are aligned, it is going to happen. There's no way it won't happen. Alignment is key. For somebody, this can be significant. This could be past energy or now, but self-pity and self-sabotage is something that is significant. I heard it happened for you, not to you. I also heard seven came up a lot. So 7 could be significant. 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 years, 7 years ago is what I heard. I heard you already have all you need. You're not doing it wrong. You're just not doing it right. I don't know what that meant or who that was for as well. J. Cole lyrics, you went this far only to go the wrong way, is what I heard as well while I was channeling. I felt tightening in my abdomen, which is the solar plexus and the sacral chakra areas. So that's your areas of like your ideas and your self-esteem and your creativity, possibly a block there. People came up 3 times. So something about the people in your life can be significant. Mardi Gras or the culture around Mardi Gras could be significant for someone. Don't let it hold power over you anymore came up, and family came up. So I also tied it back to, it could be something related to the inner child from 7 to 13. Don't let it hold power over you anymore is what I got. I have God's talking. Are you listening? The name Mary came up multiple times. I'm talking about multiple times. I even started singing Mary Had a Little Lamb in my head. Nursery rhymes came up. That could be significant. Cooking came up. I'm hearing that somebody is a very talented cook and they don't know, but they heal through food and cooking. They heal others. That's a part of how they heal. They heal others through their food and cooking. I heard that there are many healers in here. You just don't know it yet. You just don't see it yet. Children could be significant. Some of you may be meant to work with children or work with children even if it's adjacent in some kind of capacity. I felt a lot of fear of letting go. And I heard, don't worry, I got you. You guys are highly protected, highly protected. That came up a lot. Empowerment, self-empowerment. You're so creative. I heard yes, whatever you've been thinking about or talking about or wanting to get confirmation on if it was a yes or not, it is a yes. Snakes, shedding skin, shedding old beliefs, ways of thinking. Someone could have recently dreamed about snakes as well. I heard it's not going to get you there. So these old ways of thinking, these old beliefs are not going to get you there. I also had a vision that it's like you're standing on top of a hill and there are people that are supposed to be helping you and they're just passing the things along for you to build whatever it is that you're trying to build, right? But in that, they are starting to help you, but slowly but surely they start falling off. Like they start falling off and they stop helping as much. But it says, then the rest of the vision shows where it's like, don't worry, because then there's other people that come around. The right people come around and they actually start helping you build as well. They come up there with you and they help you create a system. So what I got, because people came up 3 times, it's making me think of 3 of Pentacles energy, which is collaboration, which means in your next season, collaboration is going to be key with the right people. And for many of you, you may have been breadcrumbed a lot by the people in your life. You may not have received or felt like you've received the support that you have always wanted or needed to get you where you want to go on your path. But in the next season, it's going to be about collaboration with the right people, aligned souls, okay? For some of you, you are about to be on a spiritual awakening and rebirth. It's on the horizon. Don't worry, you're being prepared. It's preparing you for what you asked for, is what I heard. A soft-spoken ancestor was trying to come through. And her words were for somebody on here was, she wants you to use your voice more. I guess this is something that she couldn't do. Stop waiting for permission. Just use your voice. It's this like timid energy that I felt. It's like this shrinking, something about your voice, your story, your words are powerful and you downplay it. So stop that. Divine watchers that keep you, again, protected AF. For many of you, you may have felt ostracized. Don't worry, it's for your protection, is what I heard. If you knew how cloaked you are, you wouldn't be worried so much, is what I channeled as well. What you attune your frequency to is what will grow in the physical. So what are you attuning your frequency to? Where's your energy going? Dance like no one's watching. You should live your life that way, is what I heard. Rain, storms came up, light bulb came up. Somebody may need to change a light bulb, not sure. I heard, don't worry, it's happening. This is happening. Stop trying to control the outcome. This keeps you stuck in a cycle, and this cycle brings you back. So for somebody who is stuck in this cycle, it's more than likely because you're trying to control how it's going to happen, what it's going to look like, how it's supposed to look like, the way you want it to look like. And it's keeping you stuck in this cycle because it's trying to get you to learn that lesson. Hair can be significant. The hair, the crown, relationships is big. I heard relationships like 3 or 4 times. So again, something about people in relationships is very significant. I also heard Mary Magdalene, because Mary kept coming up, but then I heard Mary Magdalene from the Bible. So for some of you, you may be led to read her story, or if you hear of her, it could be significant for you, but something about read her story in the Bible from a different perspective, like reread about her again. That feels very specific. So take it how it resonates, leave the rest. I forgot to tell y'all that. I heard stop conforming. Conformity makes you miserable. You're not meant to conform. That's why you're uncomfortable. Heal in your own way. I also heard lots of noise. Multiple energies. It's like this vision of like multiple energies is like pulling in multiple different directions. And it says that's why you can't hear your next steps. I heard now is not the time, right? But in due time. You are not alone. If you knew how powerful you were, that kept coming up. I also got this vision of a building, right? This really tall building. And the people who are standing really close to the building, they can't really see how beautiful the building is because they're so close to it. Take that how it resonates. So what I got was, don't take it personally, but the people in your life may not understand your big vision, your big goals, the things that you are trying to accomplish or that you want to do, or the way that you're trying to evolve. It's because they're too close, they can't see it. So that's kind of what I got. Also, they want you to know to hold on to this one thing, and that's where I'm going to end it. You can have heaven on earth. It ain't got to be so damn hard all the time. Ease and flow are possible. Okay. And I heard, if you think that this is as good as it gets, I'm hearing, no, it's much better. It's much, much better. So those were the downloads that came to me this morning in my channeling, just straight channeling and writing things down. Again, I would love to see y'all energy. Feel free to Let me know. That's just my initial thoughts. But what I love about just straight channeling is when I then pull my cards, it be confirming everything that I said, usually. So I'm gonna just pull a few cards, trying to see if I'm missing anything in the chat. Did any of those messages resonate for anybody? Let me know in the chat. They were just like random channels. Okay. Lauren said, yeah. Stuff was like emotional community. Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. I just said that there was something about you guys that's so interesting. And that's interesting. Okay. So I told y'all that there was something about you were going to be embarking on this new rebirth, this new spiritual awakening, and I pulled the card. Okay. All right. I pulled the card. Dang, I hate y'all can't see with the virtual burger. It's the literal card of like, you are literally already on the boat headed there. You just can't see. And it's literally a storm on here. And I think I said rain and storms. Y'all just saw me shuffle these cards, right? It may feel like you are in a storm right now, but it's literally, you are in the middle of, it's no way you can go back now. All you got to keep going is going. When I said that, for some of you guys, your creativity, your self-esteem, and all of these things could be blocked because you have so much noise and so much energy. Dang, I hate you can't really see them on here with this background. So much energy pulling on you. I literally pulled the card of burdens, like lots of just things that's not yours, that's keeping you from this emperor energy. Like you are already chosen. You are already like selected. It is already promised to you. But the reason why you may have experienced delays is because you really don't know that yet. For real, for real. And justice. I believe I mentioned earlier that spiritual law in my channel message was, with spiritual law, there's no way that all the things that you have already, that you've been doing, there's no way that it's not going to pay off. That is spiritual justice with this justice here, right? Like there's no way that's why they said they wanted you to hold on to that energy and that knowing that like it can get good for you. It can get good for you. And there is no way that is law. As you said, with the priestess card here, how are you being called to step up and lead and birthing a new age and a new way of being? And I also told y'all that I heard stop shrinking yourself, stop dimming your light, or something to that derivative. I got don't dim your light to fit in. And I said something about conformity, that the reason why some of y'all have had some of the experiences that you're having is you are not truly meant to conform in this life. And that is what you are being led to. That is why you may be tired. You may feel like, what the heck is this really for? You may feel really uncomfortable in this season because you're in the middle of the boat, in the middle of the storm, and you can't see it yet with that Six of Swords here. But literally, I'm going to pull from my money deck. Literally, there is no way that life won't get good for you when you get out on the other side and make it to the other end of this adventure that you're on, that you're about to start. When you drop cards, it's times 10. Okay, it says delegating more can help you increase your earnings. Okay, did I not say, okay, did I not say that you were going, teamwork was going to be important in this next season? And here this card is talking about delegating. The thing about delegating is you got to know that it's really about trusting yourself, to trust that you're going to find the right people, and the right people are going to come and support you. But I told you in this next season, this was not going to be something that you are going to do alone, that people were going to come into your life, the right people, and collaboration and relationships, and your ability to allow other people to help you is going to be key in your next season for where you're trying to go. Writer. I said something about your voice, right? I believe I said channel something about the voice. It says words are magic. Use them to manifest more abundance. Or blogger, content writer, book writer, or any creative writing career. Your words have power to influence and share your gift with the world. Did I not say that they told y'all something was? Let me find where I wrote that, because I want to confirm that I said that. And y'all see me shuffling now. Y'all see me shuffling. The timid ancestor, yes, said use your voice. It was this timid energy. Stop shrinking. Didn't I say that? I said something about your voice, your story, your words are powerful, and you downplay it. Stop that.
I think that was my mom.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, she was very timid, passive prior to her dementia. And, when she got dementia, she became, I called her the new Ethel. But I do believe that was her telling me to use my voice. So
Yes,
thank
I felt like this really like timid energy that was like almost like, excuse me, and it was like it was like, I need you to use your voice. Your words have power. That's literally what her message was. And then I pulled writer, and you're a whole author sitting right here. Okay, okay. Someone said something about a shift in spirit. Okay, this is crazy. All right. Somebody said they felt a shift. I pulled the shift card here. It says taking your career in a totally different direction. Have the courage to change course, continue to grow, learn. You've reached the end of the route where you cannot continue traveling. I believe I heard, and I heard the J. Cole lyrics, you came this far only to go the wrong way, or something like that, right? It's not that you didn't do the work, but for some of you in here, it's the direction. It's a pivot that they're trying to get you to make. Spirituality came up, and science, right? So that could be significant. Maybe for some of you guys like me, that could be where you are meant to be in some way, shape, or form. But regardless, it just tells me that you are a leader. There are leaders in here. There are true leaders in this room. And with the science card, I'm actually channeling something different. I'm channeling that have a more curious, and I believe that I channeled this in the message this morning, have a more curious approach to life, and keep an open mind on how you approach even your spiritual journey with the science, because I'm thinking like scientific method. I believe I channel allow yourself the ability to, and you know what? I wrote this out. Let me find it. I did write something to the effect, or it came to me earlier where I heard, allow yourself to be more curious. And I might have wrote it on a different page, but that came to me earlier. Like literally, I heard it. I'm so clairaudient that it's crazy sometimes. But I heard like, allow yourself the ability to be curious in whatever that you do. Like allow yourself that. Because that is more than likely where your answers are going to go. And the answers that you're looking for is going to be in that. Is going to be in that. Okay. If y'all have questions, drop them in there too. That helps. But I'm just reading the energy as it is. And then I'm going to figure out like, what is the blocks specifically in here. The writer card, Toni Morrison, popped out again. Wait, on another deck. Toni Morrison, an amazing author, writer. Right. There's something about your words. And for the energy I feel is like y'all just don't even know how powerful your words are. Like if you had a clue, and you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, that vision with the charisma card coming out too with Marilyn Monroe, that energy that I felt with the energy that I felt about the building being too close to see it, that they may not understand, that's also yourself too. You're so close to yourself that you don't even see your own power. Like you can't even see just how powerful you actually are, just how much you inspire people simply because you exist, just how much you bring light wherever you go. Like you have no idea. Like you have no idea with the take the lead card right here at the bottom of the deck, RBG. And I said something about law earlier. Again, when you take the lead and you align, there's no way that justice will not be served. There's no way with the coming together card. Okay, I hate that y'all can't see it in his background. Okay, but we got the coming together card. There's no way that it's not going to come together. Also, with the coming together card, again, that energy of collaboration in your next season. You are delegating. You're not going to be able to do this alone where you're going. If you knew just how where you're being led, if you would just allow yourself to be curious. And again, for some of y'all, I'm hearing even those that are spiritually curious as well, like allow yourself to be curious about things that you have questions for. And there's nobody that can judge you. Okay. Like there's nobody that can and should judge you if you allow yourself to be curious and explore. Like that's what this life is for. Truth came up. Truth. And in this card, you can't see it because I got this background on. I might take it off. I just don't know how to take it off, right? But in this, in the truth card, she's looking at a reflection of herself. There is going to be a day where you're going to wake up to the truth of yourself and who you are, but you can't see it yet. You can't see it. It's too noisy. I got the grief card here and the celestial alignment. It's like when you align, all of the freaking colors are going to just line up. It's going to be powerful. You're magnetic. Y'all are so freaking magnetic. Like I feel the energy. I'm starting to pick it, really tap into it more. Y'all are powerful as fuck. And I kept pulling that, saying like heavy protection energy. Like if y'all only knew how safe it is for you to explore and be curious and allow yourself that ability, like if you only knew, you would not be in this grief energy or worried about holding on to things that no longer serve you and going a different path. And you can't be afraid to look crazy and be caught exploring and allow yourself that ability. Like so many of y'all, the magician at the bottom of this deck, I can't make this up, y'all. Like so powerful. You literally, y'all do not see that y'all literally have the power to create whatever you want your reality to be. Like you truly have the power to do that. And you just, it's this energy here with this seven of like, and the hangman, like there's this resistance, there is this defensiveness, there is this fear. I kept saying, I hear fear came up a lot. And on the card, it literally says fear of letting go. I said that earlier as well. Like, this control, trying to control the outcomes, this defensiveness, if I can get behind everything, and this is what's delaying you, this is what the blocks are right here. When I said I wanted to know the blocks, it's delaying you. This trying to control and micromanage God and or spirit source, whatever you attune your belief system to, but trying to control what happens is literally delaying you and blocking you because you are not allowing the magic to happen. I said, put your scientific method hat on and allow yourself to explore. Y'all are not letting yourself do that. And that is what's blocking you, because it's literally blocking you from being able to hear where you're being led, or you hear it and it's muffled. Confidence card, the chariot, like the chariot is all about confidence. It's impacting your confidence because you think it's something wrong with you And the whole time, the energy that I'm feeling is like, it's not even anything wrong with you. You're just, didn't I say this earlier, going the wrong way that just keeps coming back up. It's like pivot. It's like we're trying to get you, we're trying to steer the boat, and you keep trying to take over the damn steering wheel. Like we're trying to guide you, and you keep trying to just tell us what to do, and you're delaying all of your process. You're delaying all of the things, and it's impacting your confidence because you think that it's a skill issue or there's something wrong with you, and this is a spiritual issue. This is this ability to just trust and let things happen and surrender to the divine and the most high and where you are supposed to be going. But this conformity, this worrying about what people think, all of these things is impacting your confidence. You are confident. Now, I heard ostracized earlier when I channeled, and for a lot of you guys, I feel like some of this confidence that's being knocked off with the defensive competition card coming up too is not only you delaying it. And I said people in relationships so many times because I feel like for a lot of you guys, you have been ostracized for a long time for simply being who you are. And this world taught you to shrink. This world taught you that it wasn't safe to just be, to just exist. This world taught you that it makes you feel like you need to have control because it made you feel like good things just won't happen unless you control it. And it's again, the reason why your confidence is impacted is because you literally are not allowing yourself that space. And it's like, it's nothing wrong with you. I think I channeled earlier, I don't even know if I read that part where it was like, you have everything that you need. With that magician card that came up, um, I said you already have all you need. You keep thinking you need this, you need that, you need better this, you need better that, you need better this, you need, I need this, I need that. And it's like you already have what you need. You already know what you need to know. You need to stop resisting the truth. That's the issue. But when you do, it's going to be magic. I'm going to pull one more card from my. So the biggest block that I have that I'm getting is it's this control and this trying to fit in spaces that you're not supposed to be in, fit in circles where you really don't. Didn't I channel something about a snake earlier, y'all? I pulled the girl with a snake card. Enable boundaries, charmed or used. I pulled, and then it says the dragonfly, things coming to light to heal, finding out and change. I said something about snakes. I could have sworn I wrote that down. If y'all remember me saying that, let me know. Now I channeled this stuff at 7:20 in the morning. Exactly. I said shedding skin, snakes, or you could have dreamed of snakes lately. Yep, snakes, shedding skin, shedding old beliefs, shedding ways of thinking, snakes. The snakes that y'all have is not only the people. All of these things have to come to the surface with this dragonfly here for y'all to heal. These things you have to shed these old ways of thinking. And that also includes the version of you that stayed in situations, stayed in connections, stayed in friendships, stayed in jobs, stayed in places way too damn long. That version of you have to shed as well. That version of you that lacked boundaries, that allowed yourself to connect with people and stay in situations way too damn long. Again, I get this energy because y'all giving chosen energy. I get this energy that you probably deal with these things a lot. You probably have dealt with these things a lot. Wondering why you felt rejected, wondering why I got this addiction card here, this codependent possession and control emotional block. It literally says it on here again. It's like this energy of like, if I could control everything around me, including like the people, like this, I'm afraid if I just let go that I won't have what I need. So you're holding on to this. This is why it's trying to get you to shed. And I literally said something as well about, I can't remember where I was going with that, but I forgot. But it was something that came to mind that's on here that I channeled as well. So lots of noise, which we're going to clear that tonight, but lots of noise, lots of noise. Oh, the feeling different. When I said y'all don't know, you have no idea how the rejection was truly protection, and that's just not a saying. Like, your clothes. I kept saying that. Like, I said something about ostracized, and that don't worry, this is protection. Again, what else did I got? I talked about the cooking, how some of you guys, you're meant to heal people through food, through how you cook, through your cooking. That's how you heal. I also wrote healing hands as well. I didn't say that, I don't believe. But I did channel something about how, okay, ostracized, it's for your protection. If you knew how cloaked you were, you wouldn't worry so much. So it's like, don't worry about feeling different. Don't worry about the feeling like you don't connect or you don't belong. Remember, when you get to the other side, there's the right people waiting for you, and in collaboration, the right connections are going to come. But these things with this card here, they're talking about bringing things to the light to heal. This is all a part of that. Yeah, the healing hands energy that I channeled was more or less like whatever you do with your hands, whether that's right, whether that's cook, especially cooking came up heavily, but whatever your art is, whatever the art is, whatever all of these things are, that is a part of what you do to heal others. Okay. And again, I just kept channeling like somebody in here can cook some fire ass food. Okay. Like y'all can, somebody, when they cook, it heals. Okay. Um, Yeah, that's true. Deidre, that's true. Never fit any group. Yes. Okay. I feel like I'm losing a lot of people. No, that's absolutely a part of the journey. That's a part of the shedding that we talked about, that I talked about. Like, it does become a point where it feels like you are going to you lose a lot of people. You lose a lot of people, but you really just discover who simply cannot go. The boat, remember when the first card we pulled was like the boat in the middle of the ocean? Like, you just find out the people who is putting holes in your boat, right? Whether they're trying to or not, they're just not aligned. You're just finding out the people who is making the boat way too heavy. It's not going to get there. It's not going to get you there. I told you, I channeled this energy of like several, like pulling in several directions. That's what I'm feeling like. It's like there's so many people tugging on your energy that you can't hear yourself. They're putting holes in the boat, and the boat is too heavy, and it's harder for you to get to where you want to go. So the best thing that you can do is shed. But for a lot of y'all, it's time to start using your voice. It's time to start understanding how powerful your words are. I'm not supposed to be the only author in here. For many of you guys, you are supposed to be either sharing, it can be social media, whatever the case may be, but your hands, whatever you do with your hands, cook, make products. I know some people make products. Whatever it is that you do, that is a part of what you do to heal. That just came up a lot. So I'm going to end it on this. I said one more card, but I didn't use this deck, and I actually like this deck because it'd be giving some real good gems for me. So I'm going to pull this one last card, and we're going to end it here. Okay. Organize for success. And y'all not going to believe what I just pulled as well. Cooperation instead of competition. What's yours is yours, and no one can take it from you. There's no need to compete, as there is abundance for you all. You have complete access to unlimited abundance for yourself and to share with others. With cooperative partnerships, you can accomplish anything. and organized for success. Don't let the word organized intimidate you, as it's simply a way for you to ensure clarity of purpose. Organizing your thoughts, your reports, your living, your workspace, and finances will help you know and plan your next steps. So I felt with that, a message came through really heavy. It's like, take life inventory, take a full life inventory, all areas of your life, right? Like, what needs to get off the damn boat and what needs to stay. Okay, what needs to go and what can't go no more. Who can't go? Like, take a life inventory because it's time. Because y'all are freaking powerful. Y'all are like this energy. Like, I wish that y'all could feel it how I feel it. Like, powerhouses in here, like true powerhouses. People with gifts that's so hidden you don't even know how you are. You don't even know how you heal. You don't even know your light to the magnitude. It's like, if you think you know, you have no idea. And that's what they wanted you to know. So shout out to who I do believe that was your mother, Ardenae, that came through. It was just too fitting. It was just way too fitting. But shout out to her for coming through. She definitely wanted you to know that. Your voice, man, that's key. Like, y'all have some stories in this room. And y'all do not, y'all, this like, I don't wanna, I I don't wanna, this conformity, man. Like, that's what it is. All right, so let's get into it because we got a lot to cover, and the energy was just energying, and the channel messages was just channeling, and it was coming through. So we're good. So I want to first, if we're gonna talk about what it looks like to trust yourself, we need to talk about what distrust actually is and what self-distrust actually is. I say she's a sneaky little heifer. That's what I call her. Okay. Distrust, self-distrust is very sneaky because if you're not careful, it will sneak up on you. And it looks, in so many ways, it looks so different for everybody. But also at the same time, it's like we look confident on the outside. Okay? We look like we trust ourselves on the outside. Like, but at the end of the day, there's still some things that are sneaky and how they show up. Does anybody want to tell me some ways? And I did post about this earlier, but some ways in which self-distrust shows up. Like, how does it show up in your life, in any area of your life? Somebody want to share that?
For me, it shows up as self-sabotage. Like, I know what to do, I know how to do it, and I just won't do it.
Mhm.
And I procrastinate. And I think I'm procrastinating out of fear of I want a specific outcome, which you've been talking about. And I'm like, if I don't think I can achieve that outcome, I'll procrastinate because I'm thinking I need to learn a new skill. I need to hire another mentor, get a coach, read a book. Um, I don't know, get the right suit, whatever the situation is, I procrastinate, and it really is a form of self-sabotage because I delayed the inevitable and I end up doing the same action that I should have done like 90 days ago.
I heard really big for you is self-trust is a big thing for you. I also, when you said that, I not say that somebody in here self-sabotage was a big thing? When I channeled the message earlier, I believe I said self-sabotage and that you have everything that you need.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, exactly. So
I
that
heard
was
that.
definitely for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I put self, for some people, you have a history of self-pity and or self-sabotage. Yeah, that's exactly one way that it shows up, right? It shows up as self-sabotage. I'm just not going to do the things that I know I need to do. Really, that's a self-trust thing, right? That's a trust, a self. It's like you trust yourself, but you don't fully trust yourself. You gotta. It's like this fight in your head with yourself about what I should be doing, how I should be doing it. It's your soul and your mind fights between. It's this fear of like, well, if I do this, sometimes we So what I've noticed is a way that some of us sneakily self-sabotage that shows us that we don't trust ourselves is sometimes we know exactly what we're supposed to be doing and we don't do it, or we don't do it full out the way that we should. And then when we get the result, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Now I can say, see, that doesn't work. I tried it. When really it's that we self-sabotage because it's easier for us to accept that things may not, you know, be how we want it to be. How does it look in our careers? For some of you, it looks like not speaking up at work. It looks like not advocating for yourself at work. It looks like over explaining, watering yourself down, hiding your gifts, or waiting until you feel ready, assuming that people who have a certain level of status must know something that you don't know. They must know the things that you don't know. And that's not to say that there's not some truth to that, but that doesn't mean that you're any less inclined to guide yourself, right? Sometimes for some of you, again, I talked about staying in connections, ignoring red flags, all of these things, holding back the truth, undercharging in business, second guessing our prices, our content, and what we offer, looking at what other people doing, trying to copy their strategies. We don't know where their soul is leading them. Delaying your launches, sharing or showing up because you want to wait for this proverbial level of perfection, right? Staying in learning mode, constantly learning, but avoiding stepping into your full leadership. And that was literally one of the cards we got earlier, is how are you being called to step up and lead? Staying in a job you've outgrown. All of these things are delaying your decisions, needing to talk to 5 or 6 people to get their opinion before you do something. Staying on autopilot because doing something different and trusting yourself feels risky. Ignoring your body when it tells you that you are burnt out. That relying on external validation instead of your own inner knowing, that is all signs of a misalignment, of self-distrust. Mismatched opportunities, misaligned relationships, underwhelming results is what happens when we do not fully trust ourselves. So when you learn to trust yourself, I'm telling you what's on the other side. So think of when we hear the word, if you ever used to watch Drumline like I did a lot growing up, but remember he would say one band, one sound, right? When you trust yourself fully, there is this alignment between mind, body, soul, and spirit that all works together. And it's easy and it flows. Just think about like a band. If people are off key and out of beat and out of step, that the sound is going to affect how the sound is being projected. Everything needs to be in alignment together. And I'm here to tell you that that is very possible because I'm living it every day, where my mind, body, soul, and spirit are all so connected. They're all so connected. They all operate together, one band, one sound. Think about how easy and how much ease and flow comes with when they're all on one accord and you know how to listen to it. So if you think about it this way, just because we all have dealt with lack of trust in ourselves, I want you to keep this in perspective. If you've accomplished all that you have and you have not been fully, wholly trusting yourself in your path, just imagine how amazing it's going to be when you do. The ease and the flow that you're going to experience is going to be unmatched. Shit just going to work out. Free stuff is going to come to you. Just abundance everywhere. And it doesn't even have anything to do with what's in your bank account. It doesn't. Everything you need always lines up perfectly at the right time and at the right place. So let's get into what intuition is. Okay, so intuition is the ability to perceive information beyond logic, an energetic knowing that comes through feelings, sensations, and inner awareness. So it's not just a good feeling, it's your soul speaking to you in the language of energy. But I want us to take a step. This is where I get into teaching mode now. And we're going to look at it from the science and the spirit perspective, okay? And it's interesting that I pulled both of those cards earlier science and spirituality. But let's just talk about the science, because intuition is not just woo-woo, okay? While I love the woo-woo, it's not just woo-woo. So we are going to look at it from the neuroscience standpoint. We're going to talk about the science stuff of it first, so that you know, like, this is a very real thing. The quantum physics, the subconscious mind, the heart-brain connection from the Heart Math Institute, their studies. But, okay, the neuroscience of it is, for instance, your brain is processing millions of bits of information in your subconscious level per second, okay? Your conscious mind is only processing 40 bits per second, okay? So there is a link between your gut and your brain that is happening, all right? From a neuroscience perspective. And so your intuition is your brain analyzing that information much faster than you can in the conscious level. And that's why you feel things before you understand them. I made this chart way too little, but I ain't have that much space to work with. Okay. Now, the quantum physics side of intuition is basically saying that energy is everything, right? So there are things that basically time and space is infinite in the quantum field. And so they're basically saying that the intuition is tapping into that energy field beyond the physical reality in the quantum field. And so you're already accessing this information. And so that's why it feels like, when you're tapped into your intuition, knowing the future, because it's timeless info. That's what it looks like from a quantum physics standpoint. Now, the subconscious mind is, of course, where we store all of our experiences, is where we start to recognize patterns before they come. And 95% of behavior comes from the subconscious. So when we're reacting a lot of times and when we're doing things, this is mostly from our subconscious brain. Okay, so this is basically saying that your intuition and your subconscious is the database, and it's sending you signals, right? You either known it before, you felt it before. That is what it's more about, the emotional subconscious mind. All right, and then the heart-brain connection. This is kind of a newer science. But the Heart Brain Institute, kind of Heart Math, they kind of linked the math with it as well. But basically, it says that your heart has its own neural network called a heart brain, and it sends more signals to the brain, and then the brain sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. I said that wrong. Basically, what they're saying is the heart senses info very quickly, way before the brain does. Okay. And then the heart coherence boosts intuitive accuracy. So your heart is a powerful intuitive organ. And so when you're calm and loving, your intuition flows freely. It's where we get the term where they say, follow your heart. All right. Now let's talk about the spiritual truths. Okay. Because there are many different ways that people look at it from a spiritual standpoint. Okay. So this is more common, that your intuition is the voice of your higher self. This is more common in the spiritual community. And the deepest part of you already knows what's aligned for you. Also, some call it the voice of God or the Holy Spirit. For some, like myself too, as well, ancestors, spirit guides, however you perceive it, but they know that it's something from the higher in the spirit that is giving you information and trying to help you process. Okay. So let's look at it in different belief systems, because I love to show this, because I think this is why I say that if you don't have an open mind, this is not the right space for you. So in Christianity, they refer to it as the Holy Spirit, or the spirit of discernment, which is that inner knowing or divine guidance from God. Okay. That is the Holy Spirit giving you what you need to do. And they often refer to the verse, lean not unto thine own understanding. You guys know that verse, right? It's a guide beyond logic. So that's how they look at it in Christianity. In Islam, they call it, and I'm not going to try to fitra, okay? And Iham, I'm not sure. I should know this because my daddy Muslim, but okay. But they believe that intuition is the pure nature Allah instills in humans, okay? It in the Elam, whatever, is inspiration placed in the heart, and that divine guidance allows with prayer and spiritual practice, like it all works together, basically. In Hinduism, they believe that intuition is the voice of our highest self, which is like the God within us. And that true knowledge comes from union with Brahman and meditation that sharpens the inner knowing. In Buddhism, they believe it's direct insight that arises from meditating and mindfulness, and it's just clarity, it just is, and you get it through your stillness. And indigenous and African traditions, intuition is guidance from ancestors, spirit guides, and nature. In Yoruba, Ori is your inner head, your divine confidence, divination, and dreams are intuitive pathways. Judaism, divine wisdom, very similar to Christianity, but they have different terms. So that holy inspiration and the wisdom. I don't want to mispronounce these words. And then spiritual and spirituality, much like myself, it's a direct connection to source, higher self, angels, and your guides. It's your inner GPS and birthright strengthened through alignment and practice. So we've seen how it looks across the board, and we've seen that one thing is very common of them all, no matter how we look at it, the science or the spirit. The most common thing is that it just knows. Regardless, it just knows. So I want you to think about, let's talk about the things that block your intuition. Have you ever been at the club? And if you can relate to this, raise your hand. You ever been at a club? It's been a long time since I've been at a club, but you're trying to talk to the people that you're with, and it's so loud in the club, y'all can't hear each other. You just screaming over each other. You're making out some of the words, you're reading lips, all of these things, but you can't really hear what the other person is saying. Let me know if you've experienced that. Because much like that, that is exactly what is happening to a lot of us when it comes to the intuition. Okay. It's like it's trying to talk to you, but it's so loud, you can't hear it clearly. You can make out certain things. So it's not like you're not hearing it at all. You can make out these, but it's so noisy. And the club is so, and I put this, interesting that I put this in here before I channeled that message, because I channeled like noisiness, right? It's just noise. All of the noise. Let's talk about what the noise is. Okay. And feel free to throw some of these out in these areas that you see, but conditioning from childhood is the biggest intuition block, because from a child, we are taught things like you are meant to be seen, not heard. You don't have a voice in here. We're taught to hug that aunt we don't want to hug. So everything about how we've been conditioned growing up has been leaning us against trusting ourselves and trusting our own voice and trusting our intuition. Societal and cultural programming. The way that this system is merely designed, it is not designed for people like us who are trying to hear the voice, because it is also very noisy, and we've been programmed from an early age about what to think, what we feel, what needs to happen, what we need to do, how we need to worship, how we need to do this. All of these things have been societally and culturally programmed in us, and they really just take us further away from being able to discern for ourselves. Technology and distraction, of course. If I'm so distracted by the latest everything all the time and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, I probably can't discern my own voice from the voices that I'm hearing on social media, right? So not having a balance between that. Risk versus reward, that fear of looking crazy because of the ostracization, I don't know if that's how I say it, that comes when you start to trust yourself and say, nah, I ain't going that way because that don't feel right for me. It's a lot that comes with that. Trust me, I experience it every day. I get condemned to hell every week. Unhealed trauma and emotional baggage. Sometimes our own shit is why we can't hear our own intuition. And we're going to talk about that. Toxic environments and relationships. Everybody else's voice around us is louder than our own. Always getting all this new information. So much information you can't discern. You can't discern anymore at that point. An external validation addiction. This need to be liked and understood, and to be the person that everybody sees, this amazing, great person that is just giving, 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 and just gives until they have any more left, right? That addiction to that, which has been put into us through social culturing and programming, that keeps us further away from hearing our intuition. And religious dogma for some. So that is this concept that a lot of the things that many of us want to explore and to hear, a lot of religion tell us that we aren't supposed to do that, because for some organized religions, it's more beneficial that you don't trust yourself and you just take what you've been told instead of allowing yourself to explore and learn and grow spiritually in your own way, in a way that's going to really resonate with your soul. And so, again, who does it benefit if you don't trust yourself? The society, the culture that we live in, all of these things block us. Okay. So I'm going to keep moving so I can get to this part right here. But let's identify, like, it's a match game, right? So the blocks are here on the left. I didn't do this right, y'all. I should have got my designer to design this, but it is what it is. And then we're going to connect the dots to what they may be. So we have overthinking and doubt, fear and trauma, ego and external noise, and lack of stillness and awareness are some of the most common blocks that we have for our intuition. So, oh, I gave y'all the answers. My bad. So overthinking and doubt, constant second guessing and looking for outside validation may be a symptom of that, right? Fear and trauma, anxiety and avoiding decisions because of past experiences can definitely stop us, right? Stop us from hearing our voice. Ego and external noise, seeking approval before trusting yourself. And lack of stillness and awareness, feeling disconnected from your inner voice because life is too loud. How many of us know what it feels like to get too busy with shit? We worried about everything, everyone, we got all of these things, and we are never giving ourselves that time to sit alone. I'm telling y'all, I don't know who this is for, but I'm hearing this very clearly. Even if you got to wake up 30 minutes earlier or go to sleep 30 minutes before everybody else in the house, you need to sit in the stillness and alone by yourself. So whoever that was for, it came through very strong and very firm, okay? You gotta make time for you. Even if it's 30 minutes in the morning or 30 minutes in the evening, go be by yourself. Even if you got to go in the car, even if you got to go outside and walk, because you need to be able to hear your voice. All right. Are we good? We on the same page before I get into these differences? Okay. Let me know if we're tracking. All right. And feel free to stop me at any time if y'all got stuff to say now. Okay. I told y'all I want this to be interactive. All right. So the intuition versus anxiety versus fear versus ego versus old wounds and trauma. Now, I made this chart and it's really little, but I'm going to explain it to y'all. Okay. So your intuition, and we're going to actually practice this actively. Your intuition is calm and clear. It's just a knowing. It's persistent, but it's quiet. It doesn't always make logical sense. Sometimes you're like, I don't know why I know this. I just know this, right? It feels expansive and empowering. If you feel disempowered, it's probably not your intuition. So I'm just saying, it invites aligned action, and it's clear, direct, and neutral. It doesn't care if it hurts your feelings. I hate to tell you that. My intuition has told me some things, and I've been like, damn, that hurt my feelings. It don't care. It's neutral. The truth is just the truth. It just is, right? It doesn't care. It doesn't care if it hurts your feelings. It's just going to tell you what it is. It's direct. All right. Now, anxiety and overthinking, that's the racing thoughts. That's the what ifs. I say it's where I consider when I say I'm spiraling, right? It's when I start spiraling in my head, and it's all consuming. It's overwhelming. It's consistent. It makes you worry about the future. It triggers more worries than you, whereas intuition is this calmness. Again, it's more about worrying. It's exhausting, and it makes you in this constant cycle of analyzing things. Okay. It's chaotic, it's frantic, it's scattered. When I do this means I be like, Fatima, you're spiraling. Okay. You're spiraling. I call it my spiraling. Now, fear is heavy and tense. It also feels like avoidance, things that you want to avoid. It creates hesitation and stagnation. I don't move. I'm not moving. I'm not moving. I need to be moving, right? Usually it is rooted in your past traumas. Sometimes something may have made you fearful of this happening again. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference. It senses that I got to keep you safe. And it keeps you from moving or moving like you should. And of course, it impacts your energy because it makes your energy low. If you live your life in constant fear, I'm willing to bet you that your energy levels are low. That's the number one sign. Ego. Ego is when you're defensive and you're justifying. This is like, I need to prove myself. It's more about being right than being aligned. It's based on external validation. It makes you prideful and rigid. It seeks approval and control, and it's defensive. Now, the old wounds, sometimes it is very hard to distinguish the difference between intuition and old wounds. And y'all got to let me know if I'm going too fast or if I need to slow down or whatever, right? But old wounds, they trigger something in your emotions that feels familiar. It's like this, I've been here before. This feels like more of a familiar feeling than necessarily like I just know this. So that's why it's very hard to distinguish it, because it feels familiar. It's basing it off of patterns and things that it's seen before. And it keeps you in this cycle of familiarity. Okay. Again, it's heavy and draining, and it sabotages opportunity for growth. And we talked about that. And it's tender, sensitive, and easily triggered. Okay. This is big because the simplest thing can trigger an old wound. Somebody could do something that feels familiar and it triggers you. And it's really just an old wound, something that you need to deal with. All right. Okay. We all good right here. We all good. Y'all, is everybody clear on understanding those distinct differences? Because we actually are about to do some exercises to implement this, like for real, so y'all can see it in action. Okay. If we're good, now I'm going to talk about what I've coined the term as something called code red. Okay. When my body is giving me a code red, this is all of these operating at one time. Okay. Now this has happened. When I tell you what a code red is, you might be like, I have been in a situation like that. There was this group of people that I used to have to go around a lot, right? And I didn't know back then, but before I would go around these people, my anxiety would just flare, and I did not know why. And I just felt like I knew something was off. But then I would be fearful, and I would like, okay, well, let me not speak as much. And then I would be like, well, fine. It was about proving something to them. Okay, well, maybe it's me. And then my old wounds, they would trigger me so much because they're, again, familiar patterns, right? So a code red is when and then I later found out that they really weren't, for me. But it was all of them working together. It's like your body, when you get a code red, is saying, this is why anxiety can sometimes it can also be a guide, a teacher, to let you know there's something beneath here that we need to address. And I call that a code red. If you're going around people and all of them are triggering or operating, you might not need to go around those people. I used to have an old mentor who I would feel like this, but I gaslit myself. This is what we do when we're in these situations. We gaslight ourselves. We tend to say, well, okay, well, maybe I'm tripping. Okay, maybe I'm thinking too deep. Maybe it's me. We start to check ourselves. Maybe I'm just triggered because of this old mentor. I used to check me so hard, like, okay, well, maybe I'm triggered because maybe there's truth to what she's saying. So let me do the inner work and let me just deal with me. Okay, I dealt with me and I still feel this way. I still feel this knowing. Okay, well, maybe it's an old wound. Let me deal with that. Let me deal with this ego, this need to prove her. Okay, what's going on here? And it was like all of my whole body was trying to tell me these people or this person is not safe. This is a code red and you need to run. Okay. Has anybody, and you can raise your hand or you can let me know, have you guys ever experienced your body doing a code red? It's like sirens going off. And intuition isn't enough at that point to get your attention. So it's like we gotta pull out all the stops. Code red, break the glass, everything. We gotta alert everything because they're just not getting it just with the intuition. Okay, I see a couple of yeses. Okay. Okay. I know I'm not the only one who's been through a code red, but I will tell you this, if your body ever goes in code red again, you do not need to be around those people. Okay. And so it's important that you distinguish what your body is doing. All right. So this is why I came up with the home framework. I'm really not going to go too deep into this, but the home framework is all about honoring your truth, which means it starts with you got to stop gaslighting yourself. You need to acknowledge what your intuition has been telling you all along. And you need to be real about, I feel this way and I just know this. I don't know why, but this is what I know. I'm not going to tell myself that I'm wrong. This is what I know. Open the path. So identify and clear those blocks, some of those things that we talked about. Start shedding that skin because it's very hard to hear your intuition. Now, the book is going to do a lot of the H and the O and a little bit of the M and the E. Okay. So the book is really Confessions of a Woman Who Remembered Who She Was. It's literally going to show you and talk about honoring your path, honoring your truth, opening that path, and really getting real about the things that are keeping you in these cycles. And then you want to master your gifts. You want to strengthen your intuition daily, and then fully live in that, where you live a life where you are totally guided by your intuition, where you are in surrender mode. Okay. This is where the clairs, how many have heard the term clair? Like clairvoyance, clairaudience. Any of you guys have heard of the clairs? Let me know if you've heard of clair anything in the chat. Okay. Reason why I said this, I am highly clairaudient. You may have heard me say that earlier. I am highly clairaudient. So for instance, I have to keep my ears clean pretty regularly because I hear messages directly. I don't know if y'all, but the way that I was able to channel those messages, and I'm able to combine that with intuition to know what's relevant and what's not out of what I'm hearing, right? So your clairs are how your intuition shows up in different ways. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into the clairs because I do have something for y'all who pre-order the book about the clairs, but the clairs, I look at them like, I call them the baddest. Anybody have this family that they know where there's like all of the kids is talented, beautiful, and it's like, damn, how all the kids fine, how all the sisters is talented. Like, how do y'all know how to sing? How do y'all know how to dance? How they all so talented? And we like, dang, do y'all have any? Like, everybody talented. The least talented one is like the talent, most that energy, that's the clairs. I call them the Claire sisters, okay? So clairvoyance is clear seeing. So this is through mental images, prophetic dreams, visions. Clairaudience is hearing messages, songs, or words. And again, I'm not going to spend too much time here because I do have something for y'all on this. Clairsentience is that clear feeling. This is more of like when you can feel the energy and feel the vibes in your physical. Claircognizance is instant knowing without explanation. I consider my claircognizant to be like my human lie detector test. I can literally tell in the moment, like they lying. And I just know. I just know. Clairaudience and clairgustance are not common, but I did say earlier that it's some talented cooks or some people who need to get into cooking, and that your cooking is your healing hands, right? Or whatever you do, or whatever you do with your hands, that clairaudience and clairgustance, that's clear smelling and sense, and that's tasting flavor. So when I really go deep into channeling, or when I am receiving messages or using my gifts, I use them all. So sometimes if I'm reading someone, if you've ever had a personal reading with me, you may understand this too, but I might say, I'm physically feeling this. I was reading somebody one time and her grandmother kept trying to come through, and at first I'm like, my back is hurting. Like my lower back was physically hurting me. And I'm like, I don't know where this is come. Like I physically felt the energy, and it come to find out like her grandmother had like back surgery, like multiple back surgeries in her life when she was living, and that's what I was feeling. Right, that's my clairsentience that kicks in. I use a mixture of them all. My strongest is clairaudience and clairvoyance, but feeling, I can do all of those things because when I am receiving messages, I'm open to how they come. And that is where it really helps you have superpower intuition. These are like the different muscles in your intuition system, if that makes sense. So, like, the more that you work with them and the more that you develop them, the clearer you can hear messages in your intuition in your next steps. Now I'm at a point where it's just as clear as if me talking to you, right? Do this. This is your next step. This is your next move. Okay. I'm just going to do it, right? It's so crystal clear because I'm so intuitive, but there was once a time where I couldn't. All right. So now we're going to do a test right here, right now. I'm going to say two different statements. Now we're going to start putting all this knowledge into action. Okay. And I want you to pay attention, and I want you to write it down. I want you to pay attention how each one of these statements feels in your body. I really want you to take a note of the difference. Okay. So I'm about to say the first statement. Okay. Statement one is, my name is Fatima Barnes. So just write how you felt hearing that. My name is Fatima Barnes. All right, so statement two. My name is Zara Blaze. How does that feel? My name is Zara Blaze. Pay attention to what your body is doing, what your whole what is coming up for you when I say my name is Zara Blaze. I'm 22. I'm 22 and I am from Michigan. Okay. Now, what I wanted you to do, and if anybody wants to come off mute, please somebody come off mute because I want to hear your thoughts, because what you're doing is you're able to test and feel. You're going to train your body to know the difference when you heard the truth versus when you heard a lie. And so you need to notice what's happening in your whole body, what's happening, even if it's really subtle. So if someone will come off mute and kind of tell me what your experiences was from when I said my name is Fatima Barnes to when I said my name is Zara Blaze and I'm 22 or whatever. Like, what was happening?
When I heard Fatima Barnes, I felt ray of sunshine, happiness glowing. When I heard Zara Blaze, I felt like a darkness, a flash, like a sting, attitude, resistance. That's what I heard.
Okay. So when you hear, so that may be a pattern with how you recognize truth from what's not truth. Is that may be very common for you. Do you feel like that's very common from when you hear a truth versus when you hear lies in general? Like, what's the common undertone of that?
Dark and light,
Okay. Okay.
good and bad.
So you literally just feel. So you are more so when you feel it through more of a descriptive approach of like you use more of the emotions piece, like so you connect through emotions. So when it's a truth for you, you feel it more of a positive emotion, and when it's not the truth, you feel more of a negative emotion. So emotions is probably one of your strongest suits in how you discern. Anybody else?
Yes, when you said your name, I smiled, but I was like smiling in agreement and like saying your name, but in my head. And then when you said, my name is Zara, I think you said Blaze, I was like, okay. And
That's
then
me.
I heard you say, I am 22 and I'm from Michigan, and I just smiled. I
Yeah.
was like, okay.
That okay feeling, you got that hesitancy
Mm-hmm.
That is the difference. Do you see? So
Mm-hmm.
that you're able to start to get to know what your body does and what that process that you go through. Whereas she connects it to an emotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are more so connecting it to a hesitation, like something in your body that's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is
Mm-hmm.
that kind of commonly how you kind of, when you start to question stuff, like, okay,
Yeah, yep, because it's like, okay. But then there's a part of me that's like, mm-mm.
okay,
And it's what you said, that hesitation, yeah.
yeah, the hesitation. Anybody else? Anybody else?
I'll share mine, Fatima. So
Okay.
when you said your name, I actually got shaky and like nervous inside. And with the other name, I was just uninterested. It was just like, whatever.
Where do you think the nervousness and shakiness comes from?
Not trusting myself that that's the truth.
Mm, so that's good. That's good. So
Yeah.
what you've got to do is practice more on things that you know to be true and things that you know to be false, and really start to practice more and more on this exercise. Like lean into trusting the first thing that pops into your mind, right? Because you might have gotten nervous, and this may be true for you. So let me know if I'm on track. But you probably are someone that gets nervous even when you know the right answer. Like maybe you used to take tests and you knew what it was, but you might still get nervous, even if you know, because you know that you're being tested, if that makes sense.
I'll say I always do have some doubt, but I still go ahead and say what I need or do what I think. But a lot of those times is, I feel like my heart starts racing and then I start hesitating, like, is this really what I should be doing? So yeah, it just feels very uneasy in my body.
Yeah, that is definitely a big sign of deep self-distrust. And the more that you practice, like go with that first. Like put yourself, I call it the 3-second rule. Like that first 3 seconds, whatever that was, trust that first
Okay.
before it gets a chance to get to the nervousness or whatever the case may be. Like trust that first. Okay. So let's get into the exact 4 E's of intuitive activation. So the first one we kind of did at the very beginning, it's these 4 steps. It's energy, emotions, exercise, and evidence. This is how you are going to build trust with yourself. All right. So 1, you need to get to know your own energy, right? We talked about being stillness. We talked about meditating, journaling. Sitting with yourself is the only way that you're going to know when something is off. If you know how you feel, you need to be able to discern what's yours, what's not yours. And the only way that you can do that is allowing yourself that stillness. Okay. Like allowing yourself to get to know your own heart center. So remember, if you can remember, and we're going to do this again here in a second, but take a deep breath and try to tune into the center of your heart in rest mode. Okay. The more that you sit in that energy, you get to know your own energy. So, for instance, maybe you're not going to use these gifts or talents in a way that I do to be literally guiding people with their lives, but just in your everyday life, sometimes it's hard to distinguish what's your shit and everybody else's that you done been around and you are absorbing, right? Sometimes you think something wrong with you, you all emotional and got an attitude and you don't know where it's coming from and it's not even yours. So you need to know how your own energy feels and what it feels like in rest mode, because you need to always be able to bring yourself back to center, just like we did at the beginning. Breathe and always tune into the beat of your own heart. Get to know how it sounds, how it feels. Okay. This is key. It speaks to you through understanding the energy and getting to know your energy. That is so key. So the first step is you have to get to know your own energy. So you need to have some alone time. You need to quiet the external noise. You need to cut off the phone every now and then. You need to journal. You need to track. You really need to sit in that, because that is what's going to tell you when something is off. You know what your energy feels like. Okay. Part 2, your emotions. You have to learn to name and track your feelings, okay? Your emotions are intuitive signals. You need to start tracking your emotional shifts. Like, how does your body react to certain things emotionally? Because if you cannot name the emotions that you're feeling, it's very hard to discern what's happening right now, right? It's very hard to distinguish different things. Plus, when you understand emotions and what they feel like, even down to me, like when I'm reading for someone and I pick up on these feelings that I'm feeling, I can feel sometimes emotions. There's been times, I think somebody in here that I read before, there were times I literally got physically emotional and started to want to cry because I was feeling it, the emotions. And again, even if it's not your everyday life, but if you don't understand emotions and why they react the way that they react, it's very hard for you to understand your intuition and your intuitive muscle, because you need to even be able to use those emotions to guide you to what is the signals that I'm receiving. Let me know if that's making sense. So you, instead of just being like, okay, I'm mad, sit with that. This is an emotion wheel. I highly recommend you Google one and you use it, because there's other emotions, right? But maybe you're feeling angry, but when you sit down with it, you say, you know what? I'm really just feeling let down and I feel betrayed. And then now you can work with that. You can work with that. You can start to distinguish, okay, what are these emotions? Why are these emotions here? What's causing these emotions? What are these emotions saying about my intuition? Are these emotions telling me that it's my intuition or not? Because sometimes when you are like, again, we talked about this overthinking and this all the time, this anxiety, this high alert, that is an emotion that's not going to allow you to hear your intuition very clearly, right? But when you can sit and be honest with the emotion, what you're actually feeling, you can name it, you can understand why you're feeling it and where it's coming from, it's a lot easier to discern what your intuition is, okay? 3, strengthen your intuition through daily practice. Are we good on the emotions? All right. So I'm going to give y'all some exercises to start to strengthen them. So the truth and a lie game or whatever, or telling you the truth and then lying, that is a part of how you can continuously practice that. But I have some more things for you to do. Okay. So one of the main things that I used to do when I was sharpening my intuition is I would do guess the next, like I would try to guess the next car that was going to come by. I would not guess it, but I would try to tune into and feel, okay, what car is going to come by? It's going to be a red car that's going to come by next. And every time I would be accurate, okay, I started to keep track of that feeling when I was accurate versus the feeling when I wasn't. So it's more about getting your body used to perceiving those things before they happen, but it's really more so like you feeling it out, because your brain, we talked about this earlier, from a scientific standpoint, it knows. So it's about trying to tune into that feeling. Another thing that you can do is when you're standing by the elevator and there are more than one car or whatever, more than one door, start to try to tune into and feel which doors are going to open and which ones are not, right? That's another way that you can do it. So you might say the left, I'm going to feel it. The left door is going to be the one that opens. The more and more you can start to train yourself on these small things, the better and better you get, the more and more you start to trust yourself. Okay. So you can also try to guess who's going to call you when the phone is ringing. Maybe you don't see the phone, but you want to tune into tune into it and try to feel, okay, who's calling me, and try to see if you get it right. Okay. Another one that you can do is you can walk into a room, and I want you to sense and feel what you're feeling energetically and emotionally. The next meeting you go in for work, even if it's on Zoom, I want you to go in that meeting, and I want you to feel it out. And I want you to feel and make a note of all of the emotions and energies that you're feeling. And then I want you to just make a note of it. Anything that confirms and supports what you felt is going to help you build up that confidence. So if you walked in the room and you felt like it was tension before the meeting started, and by the middle of the meeting, now they're telling everybody that it's a new rule and everybody messing up. Y'all know how it is when you work, right? And you like, I felt that tension in here. I felt that. Start to make a note of all of those times that you do that. That's strengthening your intuition. Those are like small little things that you can do, that you can start with to strengthen that intuition. So try to guess who's calling you or texting you. Try to guess which elevator is going to open. Try to guess what color the car is going to be. And walking into a room and trying to feel out what it is that you're feeling. And then lastly is evidence. Keep a record and track your progress. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. You need to, the reason why I had y'all write it down, even if you just get your notes in your phone. I have so many notes in my phone of just things that I've visions or whatever that comes to me. And when it comes, I'll be like, oh, I knew I wrote that down. Like I said that. That builds your confidence, because evidence is important, because that makes you start to trust yourself more and start to feel, you start documenting, like, this is how I felt when this happened. Dream journals. Okay. I got something for y'all in the bonus as well for the dream journals. But the evidence starts to help you recognize a pattern, and it helps you become more confident. Okay. Because then you start to say, okay, I don't even need my notes anymore. I just trust that when I feel this, or when this happens, or when I feel this way, this is exactly what it is. I don't need to document and create evidence, but it's important that you do that, especially as you're trying to sharpen your intuition, because you need to have that to help you feel more confident and to document what it is that you're feeling and experiencing. And this is if you really want to get to a point where you truly trust yourself. Okay. So you have homework. We're pretty much at the end. Put the 4 E's into action. Okay. I want you to practice these things for at least a week. Now, I would say for a lifetime, obviously, but at least give yourself a week to track everything and track your progress, and to see, okay, this is the emotions that I felt. This is what I felt. I guessed the car right 3 out of 5 times. And then it was 4 out of 5 times. Whatever you do to document. Then I want you to journal your experiences. Notice changes in how your intuition shows up. And pay attention to the moments where you just knew something. Start writing those things down, because that is going to build the confidence that you need to start to trust yourself. Track when you ignored your intuition versus when you followed it. Like, what happened? And you'll start to gauge and feel how much stronger or clearer you may be by the end of the week. Like, you literally will start to see, like, I trusted myself this time, but I didn't that time. And when I did this time, this happened. And when I did that time, that didn't happen, right? That is the ease into practice. It's just practicing and documenting. So keeping evidence, practicing daily, giving yourself that alone time to understand your own energy and understanding your emotions. When emotions come up, you need to start, okay, this is how this emotion feels. You need to document. That's the only way that your brain can process seeing the evidence and seeing the progress, seeing it play out, so that you can better understand, okay, I already know when this happens, or when I feel this is exactly what this means. Okay. So let's talk. Let's sit with this for a second because we covered a lot. It was some science shit. We did a channeled message. We gave you 4 steps how to, tune into your own energy, understand your emotions, why they are, what they feel like to you, what triggers them, evidence, or not evidence. What's the other E before that? Lord, I forgot my own E's. Exercise. So exercise constantly strengthen and flex that muscle because you can't just do it once or twice and then be like, okay, I trust myself. That ain't how it works. You have to flex that muscle. And those are things that you can do in your everyday life. This is adding no extra time to your schedule. If you already got to go to work and there's an elevator there, you can literally guess that elevator. If you already sitting outside, people watching or watching the cars go by, you can start to guess and feel and tune into what color the car is gonna be, or what kind of car is gonna be. These are things that you're already doing every day that you might as well use it as an opportunity to exercise and flex that intuition muscle. Okay. So I'm going to let everybody or anybody who wants to come off mute share how you're feeling, what's your takeaways, how do you plan to apply it? Just let me know. Did anything resonate? Let's just chat for a second before we get into showing you the book and all of that good stuff.
Like you said, we were meant to be here. There was a reason why. I got a lot from this. The exercises, I've actually never done that or heard that or be told that. So thank you for that.
No problem. Good, good. You got to do it. Just practice it and you'll be fine. Y'all already going to work meetings. You already looking at elevators and cars. So just take that time now to be at the conscious front of your brain to actually do it. Anybody else?
Just want to say excellent job. Thank you so much for doing this. And it's funny that we were talking about intuition because we had our one-on-one, and a lot of the stuff that you were saying in the cards that you picked were same exact cards that you pulled when we had our session.
Really?
So a lot of the stuff that we were talking about today is still just confirmation of our conversation that we had back then. Also in the comments I wrote about the straw. So you was like exercising. So I would go in the cabinet and I would like, I'm gonna get a green straw, and I keep pulling green straws. And I only one time got a pink straw out of the times that I got a green straw, and it was a different feeling. So when you said that, I was laughing like I've been practicing, didn't know I was
Didn't
exercising
know what you were doing. Yeah.
about the phone calls. Like I know who's calling and all of that. So it was funny, but it was good recognition. Like I have been exercising and I have seen a shift in my intuition and it be on point and I trust myself. So when I be like, oh, okay, I heard it. I heard what you said.
Yeah.
And then the ringing of the ears. So yeah.
Yeah.
And the
I think
elevator thing, I be guessing like what's gonna happen next. And I be 99% of the time I'll be right. So
yes.
yeah.
I think I think I remember telling you now that you're gifted too. I think everybody in here has those.
With the writing and the cooking and all of that, and
Oh
to
yeah,
use my voice, and yeah, we had
I
that
forgot.
conversation.
Oh my God, I forgot about the chef. Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I wrote all those messages this morning and I didn't know who was going to show up or who wasn't. I just straight channeled.
Yep. Well, we all was supposed to be here for a reason, so
Yeah.
I'm glad I caught it. Thank
Yes.
you.
Anybody else? And then we are going to.
I kind of missed what you was asking, but just me in general from the beginning up to now, like when you were, I forgot what you called them, but you like I wrote down empowered children, highly protected, spiritual awakening / rebirth. The words are powerful. Like literally all those things, they were like confirmations for me. The empowered because that's literally how I've been feeling lately. Like I used to doubt myself a lot, and you kind of know me from previous. I'm like, why am I doing that? But I went on like literally just my spiritual journey, and so much has been coming to me. Not only that, but it was prophesied to me of the spiritual gifts that God has given me, and I'm just like, what? Like, not me. What I'm gonna do with that? But literally I'm beginning to like see so much. You were saying journaling. I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally like, I've been doing that more. Like everything that you were saying was basically like confirmation for me. When you mentioned children, you said something about children. Literally, I'm the Sunday school teacher for the children. And for me personally, I'm like, I don't want to do that. But because I've been literally just praying, and like you said, there's different, every religion is something different. Mine's is Christianity. And literally, I just surrendered. You said surrender. I said, oh my God. I was over here like going through it. I'm like, oh my God. She is like literally in my brain. But I literally just, you know, surrendered. And I told him, just use me. Use me. I want to just, just use me.
Mhm.
And when something occurs, I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I don't want to be doing this. But I'm so willing. It's like, I prayed for this stuff. I've been praying for this. So, and then like even with the business, I you said partnerships and all this stuff, like different things are just coming my way. And it's like immediately I'm like, nah, nope, I ain't doing that. I like, as opposed to me second guessing and saying my number one, I used to be like, oh no, I cannot afford that. That's not in my budget. I don't have that mindset. And it's like, wow. So my whole thing was just confirmation. I was writing down like, oh my God. That's why I put get out my head. The light bulb, like everything, literally.
Wow, I
So
love
yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
powerful. And I can feel your energy is different too, Minnie. I've known you for a
I
good
have
little
chills
bit
right
now.
now.
Yeah, yeah. So that's crazy. All that I'm doing is I am just when the I'm so tapped in that's how that it works that way. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't know if sometimes when I channel, I have no clue what I wrote. Sometimes I'd be like, what did I write? I can't even read my right because I just, but like, or sometimes I channel through voice, but all I'm
Mhm.
doing is just tapping into the same gift and ability that you all have.
Mhm. Oh my God. And when you had us do the exercise, I literally, each body part you said, it was like I literally felt the light under like with when it got to my feet, it was like zzz. I'm like
Yeah.
in my mind, like really? Like what it yeah.
I love it. I love it, y'all. And honestly, the bonus that I'm giving away for those who pre-order the book, y'all, it goes a lot deeper into sharpening the clairs, specifically sharpening those individual muscles. Because the things that a lot of y'all are telling me, I'm like, okay, that's her gift. That's her gift. You're probably super clairsentient. You just don't know. You see what I'm saying? Like y'all are so powerful. You can use that for good in your entire life. Like you don't even, like I said, even if y'all not going to be like me reading tarot and doing all of this, right?
Mhm.
But using it in your life in general is literally a cheat code to life because it will literally save you. It is the ability to truly discern like
Yeah.
this I feel this or I see this or I've had a vision of this or whatever. It's about trusting.
I've had to start well, like my dream, like you know how we dream, but there are some nights I don't dream or I don't remember it. But now like my pastor has been saying, just write down your dreams. Literally, they're telling me something,
Mhm.
and what they say, deja vu. It's not. It's I literally dreamed this.
So
I'm
you're
like, oh my
probably
God.
very clairvoyant too. And it's probably because you're breaking down those layers. I'm going to be honest with y'all. The more
Mm-hmm.
you start to break down all of those old belief systems and the more you start, the closer you get going back home to yourself, the
Mm-hmm.
stronger and more in tune that you become because it gets clearer and clearer. It goes from being that loud, trying to speak at the club over each other to okay, I can kind of hear what you're saying. To like I said, me now, it's like I literally, it's just this, it's like me and you talking right now. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
that clear for me. Um, but so y'all, you're gonna love the bonus. when you pre-order the book. You're gonna love the bonus there.
Yes.
It is
And if I can add one more thing, you mentioned something earlier. I can't remember, what did I write? Well, I can't remember what you said, but what came in my mind was breakthrough of Tarian. But I know that came in my mind because just in my Bible study, our pastor was saying like that's what the Lord has been giving him. And forgive me for anyone that has a different religion. That's
Oh
just my
no, girl, it's a
experience.
safe
But
space here for all.
okay,
It's a safe
thank you. But that is what our pastor was saying that right now is the time for us to be tarrying. And so you said something.
that was similar, probably, but in the spirituality
Yeah, you didn't use the word tarrying,
terminology.
but I think you said breakthrough. I think you said
I
something
know
about
tell I
breakthrough.
don't remember.
And I was like, oh my God, this is just what our pastor was saying
So
last
that's
night. Breakthrough of tarrying. Yeah, it was
confirmation.
confirmation. Like literally,
Mm-hmm.
this entire thing was confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. Okay, I'm done.
Mm-hmm. Yay! Well, I love those things. All right. So,
Mm-hmm.
but before we get into that, I would like for you guys to take a look at the first word that I had y'all write down when you joined. If you can remember, I said, write what you want to feel when you're done, visualize it. Does anybody take a look at what you wrote down if you were here at the very beginning? What was the word that you wrote?
Empowered.
How do you feel?
Empowered. Literally. Like it heightened it, literally.
That's your
That's really what it
intuition.
is. Like, oh my God. Yeah.
That's your intuition. That's all I was having y'all do. It's like it's a form of practicing. Like
Mm-hmm.
you predicted or you tried to attune to what was going to happen after the event. Anybody else
And
want to share
oh
theirs?
my gosh. I have to show you these. I'm gonna have to. But oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Is
What's
something
not
else
crazy?
comfort? I love receipts though, child. I love receipts.
When everyone's done, oh, I think let me unmute. But I'm gonna show you when everyone's done.
Okay. Anybody else want to share their word that they wrote? If you were here at the very beginning. Okay. Well, Minnie, that was kind of the first way that before we started talking about anything, this was before I even started reading, before I did everything, you chose that word. Intuitively, you chose that word. You see, that is what you guys are doing this, but you are not aware that you're doing these things in so many ways. When she was talking about the pulling the straws, all of these things, like you're doing these things, you you just got to actively strengthen them. It's like instead of going to walk at the park just walking and talking and you accidentally lose weight versus I'm actively walking and going to the gym and I'm like strengthening this and that's a different energy. You see what I'm saying? So now that y'all know better, y'all will start strengthening them. All right, Minnie, you got it? And then we're gonna get into the
Yes. You just said another thing. Oh my God. You said weight loss, and I haven't been focusing literally like on losing weight, but because in my mind, I know it's something that I want to do. I've literally been losing weight, and I do my norm. I haven't changed nothing.
Mhm.
Literally, oh my God, nothing. Um, can I share with you what I was
Yeah.
gonna?
Mhm.
Okay, so when we started, so I ordered these notebooks. I'm gonna make it quick. I ordered these notebooks, and the designer reached out to me and was like, "Well, your book should have been there already." I'm like, "Well, they probably will come because you just called me today," but they came today. I was literally as I logged into the Zoom and then waiting to come in. I came over here, sat down, was getting myself together, and I began to open up my books. Now, remember, I wrote down the word empowered. My books, the front of my book, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says, "Excuse me while I succeed."
Mm. Mm.
It just aligned, it's just
Uh-huh.
confirmation. But I remind you, I selected these, but the fact that they came today,
Yes.
one for like church and things like that, and then me versus me,
All the
because that's
stuff I was saying.
literally me all day. I was like literally, and then this one said keep going. Now
I
the
wrote
kicker
that down.
was that they can't. She included like these stickers, and so I just randomly picked the stickers up. And when I picked the stickers up, this one said, I'm trying to make it big. I don't know if everybody else time. But this one, I don't know if y'all can see it, but um, it says showing up as yourself, beautiful. And then I put both of those in that book, which is the one that says, excuse me while I succeed. I don't know if this meant anything to anybody, but it was just like, wow. And the one that has the cross on there, it was literally just, just a regular picture of a woman. And then the one that says me versus me, I'm the competition. And you
I probably said, oh, I ain't even telling. I
you
probably did.
did. You said that. And then the sticker that I put in there, it says she is strong, fierce, brave, full of fire. And I just happened to look at the books like, what in the world? And then the one that says keep going, I put the sticker empowered woman, empower women.
Yeah,
Literally.
that's what I wrote down this morning.
Oh my
Empowerment,
God.
self-empowerment. Showed it.
Yep.
Girl,
So
I love a receipt, honey.
that's why I was over here like, oh my God, she is in my, like, what is going on here? But okay,
Yeah,
I'm done.
that's that gift, honey. That's that gift. People who've had private readings with me, they really know too. They be like, whoa. Because see, when I'm trying to channel so many energies, it's one thing, but when I'm like one-to-one, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
thank you for
Okay.
sharing that. I loved hearing all the the sharings, confirmations, the way it resonated. So we don't go too far over. I told y'all we was going by energy and we actually not doing too bad for me on time because I will demolish some time. But we are here because I also wrote a book, Confessions of a Woman Who Remembered Who She Was. And I feel like the book is going to be the perfect pair to go with the things that y'all have learned tonight because it's going to help you actually start to put some things around these blockages and let these things come to the surface so that you really can continue to break it down so that it's clearer and clearer and stronger and you trust yourself more. So I am going to show y'all the book trailer really quickly. Can y'all hear it? I can't hear it. Lord, hold on. I done revealed it too soon. I don't know why it's not going off, but anyway, it's supposed to be a marching band playing, and I don't know why it's not playing, but I went to an HBCU and homecoming is it's the band, it's all of these things. And so I had the band in the background. I guess y'all gonna have to see it on social media because I don't know why it's not posting. But the music makes it like, you know, make sense, or else you just watching words splash on the page or whatever. But this is like the, I guess, trailer for the book and what's coming. And then I need to figure out what it is. So it's time to come home to yours. I hate y'all to get the music because the marching band is dope in the background, y'all. Okay. But anyway, so the book is where make sure your internal speaker is not muted. It's not, I don't think. Okay. So the book is where we're going to take these things deeper. It is where you are going to I thought I hit select music because every time I don't click that, I know people can't hear it. I'll probably just try to play it separately after this. But it's where we go deeper and it's where we you hear more about my story. I told y'all a little bit today, but it's just a little bit, a lot more, a lot of it actually. And it was a lot that couldn't even go into the book because it's just that much. But the book is really, really, really going to go a lot deeper on my journey coming back home. But again, this isn't just my story, it's your story too. You will be able to see yourself in my story in one way, shape, or form. In some way, you're going to be able to see it as you are reading the book. But it's not just a book with words, like it's actionable, much like how tonight I gave y'all actionable steps, techniques, things that you can actually put into action to start to see some type of change. That's a very similar energy of the book as well. So the book is broken down. You probably can't see this, but the book is broken down into let me see if I can zoom in. There we go. So the book is broken down like a football game, like a homecoming game, basically. And it's broken down by first quarter, second quarter, the halftime show, third quarter, and fourth quarter. Okay. And so I'm going to send y'all this list of the chapters, but you guys also get a first look at the chapters. So chapter one, first part one is where I talk about the breakdown. How do we kind of get to this point where we became further and further away from ourselves? And it's getting real about those things that are blocking us in the first part. So it's about how we were broken down. Okay. And then it's who you were before. Chapter one is about who were you before the world told you who to be. That's the kickoff. And then it's going to go more into fumbling the bag, false start, the 3 Ps that kept me playing the wrong game. Second part is the awakening, divine time out, reconnecting with your spiritual roots and calling the right place for your spirit. The playbook, manifesting abundance in the life you deserve. The defensive line, how to guard your energy like a champion. That's all about boundaries. Part 3 is the halftime show. This is, you're going to witness pure alignment happening when you allow yourself to be curious. And it's just my raw, it's not even really edited in that. So that's the halftime show. Part 4 is third quarter, the build back. So how do you start to, now that you know you've been broken down and you start to wake to that, how do we start to build you up more of yourself? So no bench warmers, choosing your inner circle with intention, running it back, healing your inner child and teen, those wild 20s, a love letter to your 20s, because we kind of skip that phase and just act like, okay, we were a child and then now we, like, our 20s is wild for a reason. And then under the stadium lights, facing your shadow and confronting what's hidden. That's more about like shadow work and really getting deep into how you start to break down the things that are keeping you stuck on your own. Like, how do you train yourself to do that? Then part 5 is thriving in the end zone. So this is the purpose formation, which is talking about really just discovering your purpose and following that purpose and trusting that purpose and what it looks like to know what purpose is. The homecoming court, when you start changing and evolving, those dynamics are going to change with how you deal with other people. So how do you navigate these changes in your life? And then chapter 14 is touchdown, you win, thriving in the end zone. Okay, so that is a first look at the chapters of the book. I don't know how I got this thing so big. I can't see nothing. Okay, my screen done got too big, y'all. I don't know how to take it off. Okay, there we go. So those are the chapters of the book and the title and how it's broken down. So it's about how you were broken down. How do you start awakening to what really is happening? How do you build yourself back up in that? And then once you do, there's a period of time where you're going to thrive, right? So thriving is not as easy as people think, because those old systems and programs try to creep in when you're thriving and they try to take over and do their thing. Okay, so I'm going to make this quick because we are 15 minutes over time. All right, so if you resonated with this class, this is your next step. It will cover all of these things in even greater depth. And if you pre-order, especially if you pre-order by March the 20th, you're going to really get some cool bonuses. You will personally get a signed copy of the book. I'm going to sign it. I've already been practicing my signature. For those who order before March 20th, it's guaranteed that I'm going to sign your copy, you're going to get access to the So Gifted Activation Lab. This is the lab that I was telling y'all about. You're going to automatically get access to this, where we go deeper into strengthening your intuition and the clairs and all of that good stuff. We're going to go deeper into that. And how do you train each individual one? Different exercises you can do to train each individual one. Okay. This is going to be a good birthday gift for yourself, girl. If you refer someone, so if you pre-order and somebody else pre-orders, you're actually going to be entered to win. 2 is going to be the bestie giveaway. So if you get multiple people to order, you're going to be entered to win 2 out of the 3 special edition. There will only be 3 books like this, all made, like the only 3 in the whole world. 1 is going to be for me, and the other 2 is going to be for you and one of your besties who pre-orders the book. If you participate in that giveaway, you are also going to be entered into that. So 2 people are going to receive gifts that I'm not even going to sell to anybody else. And one day that's going to be worth something. I'm telling you. Okay. Also, it's going to be free shipping until March the 20th if you order before then. I'm also going to be giving y'all some surprise bonuses and things like that that's going to be coming as we get closer to the launch. And if you have a business, now many of you were in this program, but I am actually, for those who pre-order, so if you know any other businesses that could benefit from both pre-ordering the book, because I realize what's in the book goes hand in hand with owning a business. So since I've closed that business down, I still feel like it was great information that was helpful for people. So if they pre-order the book, if they want access to it, they can get access to that as well, to the whole course, the whole program. All you got to do is, when you pre-order, is say, I want access to the course. Just send me an email and let me know, and I will give you access to the business course as well, because they're going to go hand in hand. All right. So that is that. Any questions? Any questions before we get to picking a giveaway winner? Because I know we are already over time.
Can you send me the link, please?
Yes. I'm about to drop the link in the comments. Okay. Now
That
let
was my
me
question.
this thing. Okay, let me stop this. Let me stop this. Okay, so she's not here, so we're gonna have to try this again, because I want it to be somebody who's actually physically here now. Let me share this with y'all so y'all can see. I randomly put people names in here because I didn't feel like going through that whole thing. Okay, I'm gonna only pick somebody who's here. This is the person who's gonna win the free book that's signed. Well, oh, it was so close. So Lauren, I was gonna say that's gonna be a good happy birthday for you, Minnie. But Lauren, I am going to get your details, because
Fatima,
one favorite. Yes,
when you said practicing, right?
you was practicing.
I was practicing, and I was like, "Hold on, wait, it's gonna be in between me and Minnie. Wait a minute." And I said, "No, it's gonna be me."
There you go. Well, you won the free book. Let me write that down, because my
Thank
is
you.
terrible. You get a free signed copy. I am also going to I feel this, but I feel like I want to also give someone a free personal energy reading if they want as well. Like, if you're open to it. What I did when I channeled messages before, I don't think she's on. I don't think she's on. Okay. Sorry. Nope. You know what? I'm going to just randomly close my eyes and point to somebody on the screen, and the closest person that's physically here is going to get it. Let me close my eyes. I'm just going to let me scramble it around. Okay. So, I'm gonna just type it in here because I think it's If she's open to it, I think it'll be an amazing thing. I want to type it because I know I want it don't have that same effect. I want to put the little emojis where it's dancing like the system do. Oh Lord. Okay. Oops, I think I was gonna send it to just her. Let me send it to everybody. Cause I want to do the little emojis. Is it gonna let me? Yay. Okay. Y'all give it up in the chat. I'm gonna do a free private reading.
Got the shakiness, and I really wanted that, so yay.
Yay!
Good job today. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. And I just said, okay, whoever the closest to this while it's here, let me spin. Okay. All right. So I think as far as, yeah, no, that's it. So let's just close this out from a space of gratitude. Thank, whatever your belief system is, just sit for a second. And I want you guys to practice this, do your homework. You know what you got to do. You're already doing this stuff, but just know that you're doing it. And I am going to, let me write these names down because my memory is bad, huh? Whole psychic and I got bad memory. Okay. So I am going to just end it with this. And I just want to say that your intuition, and I say this all the time, your intuition knows the way back home. You just have to learn how to listen to it. Your soul knows the way home. It knows exactly what it needs. You just have to learn how to listen. When you can listen, I promise you, so life gets so much, it's just like, damn, it ain't have to be that damn hard as I was making it. But it gets clearer and clearer and clearer. And I promise you will start to be able to truly see how powerful you are and how you can manifest your desires truly into this reality. A lot of the things that you hear that become cliches is going to be like real life all the time for you. I'm here in living proof that there is something on the other side of this. So just sit in that gratitude for a second. And when you leave here, I want you to sit in that gratitude for a second, and take in this experience. You got to watch me use my intuition in real time. I channeled messages at 7:20 this morning that was very much relevant tonight. And I didn't know who all was going to be on the call. Like that's all because of my gifts, and they're so clear. And you all have that same ability. And don't be surprised if in a few years after you done did this training and then you take the free one. Oh, I'm supposed to be dropping the link to the book, y'all. My bad. But you do all of this. It's book.fatimabarnes.com. It's very simple. But you are able to sit with that and really, 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 really allow yourself to take in what all you just learned, because that was a lot. Let me go through, see if there's any questions. I'm not hosting another class soon, but the replay is going to be up. And for anybody who pre-orders, they're automatically going to get access to the replay. And also they're going to get access to the other course about strengthening. It's going to be the So Gifted Activation Lab, like how to activate those other gifts and make them even stronger when you pair it with the things that you've learned about your intuition. So it's more about like flexing the individual muscles, whereas the intuition is the foundation. So it's let me pull up the link for y'all so y'all can see what it's going to look like. It's going to look like such. And all you got to do is click pre-order, and it's going to take you to checkout. It's got Q&As, it's got all of that, but it's going to take you to checkout, and you'll be able to check out. Also, I forgot to tell y'all, pre-order is only $19.99 for a hardcover. After pre-orders, the price is going to go up for the hardcovers, and then I'll eventually launch out the ebooks and all that kind of stuff later. But Right now for pre-orders, it's just the hardcovers, and it's going to be $26.99 for the hardcovers whenever I launch. So the $19.99 is, I'm just saying, and free shipping if you order it before the 20th. Before the 20th. So then that's it. And then you're going to get an email. Please check your spam. Please check your spam, but you're going to get an email that is going to have all the details in there about what happens after you pre-order. And I will let y'all know when it's shipping out, all that kind of stuff. But they will ship on or before June 3rd. So June 3rd is really the official shipping date because it's the official launch date. So yeah, so that's it, y'all. We did it. Y'all stay to the end, so y'all some troopers. Y'all really were meant to be here and really take this experience in. Oh yay! We got our first pre-order. All right. Thank you. I can't wait to sign it. And I'll get with you on connecting for our reading as well. Our personal reading. Okay. All right, y'all have a good, beautiful night. I highly recommend y'all journal when you leave here to take it all in. But y'all have a good night. I don't know how to stop this thing. Oh, here it is. Okay. See y'all.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.